Let's talk about money. Who doesn't love money? Yay, capitalism. More specifically, let's talk about the history of money and how it relates to our old friend, the periodic table. So, it's probably not surprising that since, the dawn of humans, we've come up with various ways to exchange goods. At first, we bartered. You have thing I want, I have thing you want. Let's trade, that kind of deal. But this isn't a very elegant way to conduct business, since for a transaction to happen under this system, both parties have to have something that the other wants. This condition is something economists call a double coincidence of wants, and it's essential for bartering. Think about it this way: if I have chocolate and you have peanuts, but I have a nut allergy, there's no amount of peanuts you could give me to get my chocolate. To avoid this issue, we've been quite clever and developed something called money. Simply defined, money is something that 1. Stores value, 2. Can be used to purchase something, and 3. Is the unit of measurement that people use to set prices and record debts. It's quite interesting to see what people have used as money throughout history. For example, from 9000 to 6000 BC, livestock, and with the development of agriculture, crops were used as the primary form of currency. There's evidence of cowrie shells, aka mollusk shells, being used in 1200 BC, and the first metal coins made of bronze and copper were used in 1000 BC. But arguably, the most popular metal used was gold. The first gold coin was made in 550 BC under the orders of King Croesus of Lydia in what is now modern-day Turkey. But gold, along with other metals, had been used as currency prior to that since the Bronze Age. After came the advent of paper money, which was still tied to gold. These paper notes, issued by banks, hence the term banknotes, could be directly exchanged for gold and therefore had gold to back its value. This gold standard became universal from the 1870s into the late 1920s when the Great Depression forced many countries to abandon it, although some countries clung on for a bit longer. In fact, the US technically only abandoned the gold standard in 1971. Now, the value of money is backed by the government issuing it, which is a good development. With how big the global economy is right now and the amount of money there is circulating, we simply don't have the gold to back the value of that much money. Plus, the government is now free to enact whichever monetary policies it thinks are the best without having to worry about adhering to the gold standard. This is useful in times of economic crises. But why did we choose gold? Why wasn't it, say, the copper standard? The answer? Chemistry. The periodic table has 118 elements, and gold was, hands down, the best choice. Let's take a look at why. Ideally, we want our money to be solid at room temperature for obvious practical reasons. So that's a big nope on the entire noble gases group along with hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and chlorine, which are all gases at room temperature and standard pressure. Say bye to mercury and bromine as well because they're liquid, and gallium because its low melting point means you would actually melt it in your hands. You don't want your money to be made of alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, or halogens because they're highly reactive and can combust faster than the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. You don't want your money to be made of something too common either, lest you want your currency to be easily counterfeited, although this is admittedly less of a concern with the security features found on money nowadays. Nevertheless, gone are the elements in the first half of the table. But at the same time, your money can't be made of something too rare. You might need to have a lot of money in circulation if the economy is super big, and you don't want to be limited because you can't find enough osmium. You don't want your currency to be made of something radioactive or otherwise harmful, so gone are technetium, promethium, and all elements bigger than polonium. Let's also get rid of cadmium, lead, indium, and antimony because we don't want to be poisoned. Let's cross off all the lanthanides too since they tarnish easily in the air, and that's not exactly ideal. Actually, thallium also tarnishes easily in the air. Let's get rid of it too. And let's get rid of yttrium since it reacts readily with water. We don't really want our money to undergo a chemical reaction the second we get it a bit wet. Our money should ideally be made of something that doesn't have an absurdly high melting point, or else it'd be really difficult to work with. Gone are zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, ruthenium, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, rhenium, and iridium. We're now left with rhodium, palladium, silver, and gold. Rhodium and palladium weren't discovered until the 1800s, so ancient civilizations would have had a hard time using those elements. Silver isn't bad and has been used as currency, but it too tarnishes, so it's not the best choice. We're now left with gold, a stable, non-toxic, rare but not too rare substance with a workable melting point, and that's why it makes for the best money.